Good day everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. My name is Mikarl, and today we'll be talking about virtual worlds in education. Virtual worlds are considered to be 3D online environments that mimic the real world, whereby people interact with others and other objects through a character they created to represent themselves. Developers have taken advantage of the idea for educating people in schools and those interested in particular hobbies. For example, you have universities that operate in the online environment, and they host lectures and provide tests and even excursions to virtual places of importance. While this example is quite interesting, it poses a number of questions and possible disagreements concerning the outcome of teachings and how effective it can all be. Here to discuss the topic with me are a few experts in their field of IT and virtual reality: Srikesh, Varun, Ahmed, and Sajid. Thank you for joining us today. Srikesh, in the past I've heard you rave about virtual worlds and how it has such a big reach and it can cover different fields of interest. What are your particular thoughts on its educational impact?
Okay, so virtual worlds have a lot of capabilities and tools that can help the learning experience. For example, MBA students carry out virtual negotiations on Second Life. Medical science students interact with virtual patients to help harness their communication skills. 3D models are helping forensic students to better understand the autopsy process. 3D replicas of archaeology artifacts are helping students to focus more on archaeology interpretation. 3D responsive models are helping programming logic in a way that they combat one of the main challenges by providing a graphical interface. Medical science students and hairdressers also do simulations that help them enhance their technique and build confidence in highly technical processes.
I agree with his statement. I believe that virtual worlds can improve education practices by mainly spearheading the collaboration between students and teachers by incentivizing class participation through the use of customly designed award systems or gamifying content learning procedures. It will increase the attention span and duration of students over the content learned, whilst also increasing the interest through the social interactions between the students and the teachers. Along with this, the distant education provided by the virtual can enable faster and more comfortable acquisitions of skills through the use of customizable tools through the virtual worlds, as opposed to static tools such as slide presentations and normal lectures. Virtual worlds can also cater for those students that have learning impediments such as social anxiety, such that it can create a platform whereby all students can learn at the same pace on a comfortable common ground.
What about the impact of reducing the human interaction component compared to traditional learning environments?
Well, certain social and behavioral changes might arise if these technologies become more ubiquitous, but more longitudinal studies are needed to verify if there is a correlation between the two. Another problem with 3D virtual learning is that less than half of the world's population have access to the internet and thus the resources needed to use these technologies. There's also the problem that there's no long-term data on whether or not the learning experienced by students in virtual worlds are more effective than other platforms like, say, Google Classroom. You know, this lack of data also means that there's no general framework or guidelines for institutions to follow when implementing virtual worlds in the education system. And this could result in some very expensive mistakes if not implemented properly.
Actually, there is guidelines. The first thing I would look at is how the design of the learning space. The underlying pedagogy should guide the design of the learning space into creating an environment that's got meaningful content, and also it should provide learners with the ability for creation and discussion. The educators should not just design environments that like lecture theatres and auditoriums. Rather, they should design environments that allow for facilitate collaborative activities such as meeting spaces where learners can communicate with one another and improve their group skills.
But are there any strategies that can be used to keep students engaged?
Yeah, actually some lectures allow co-design, so where the students help design the learning space. This is actually proven to be very successful.
All right. Well, with all of this taken into consideration, what are your predicted thoughts on future application for virtual worlds in education?
Okay, so I think like other subjects like law and supply chain management, where negotiating is also important. Virtual negotiations can also be implemented there. Also think that in the law discipline, simulation can take place in terms of a virtual courtroom.
Alright, well thank you for joining us today guys, those are very interesting points. This is all we have for today. If you're interested in anything that we've talked about, look at the description box for any links to any topics that we have. Thank you.